The powers of the Omnitrix are a sight to behold. From the fire-wielding Heatblast to the mighty giant Weibig, there are many different aliens that everyone is a fan of. Today we are going to the original series of this franchise to determine which are the true defenders of the galaxy and which deserve to be exterminated by the Plumbers. I'm Andrew with Wicked Binge, and this is classic Ben 10 characters, good to evil. A couple quick disclaimers. We will only be looking at characters from the original Ben 10 in 2005, so characters from any of the 3 sequels, the 2016 reboot, or the movies will not be included. As usual, we'll be starting with our best characters in the galaxy and working our way down to the most wanted villains. These characters are the good. Starting off this list with our gold medal of good, we have expert plumber Max Tennyson. Max is Ben and Gwen's grandfather, who takes them on a road trip across the country. Max is easygoing, jovial, kind, and very brave. He is also quite intelligent, being able to select the best weapon to use against an alien. He is selfless and puts the lives of others before his own. He can be stern sometimes with Ben about using the Omnitrix responsibly, but he doesn't take it too far. Also, he's not afraid to call anyone out on their selfishness or mistakes when necessary. While he has retired from being a plumber, he teaches Ben and Gwen some of the ways of the Plumbers and helps whenever he can to fight a villain off. He does his best to guide Ben, patiently advising him whenever he can to use the Omnitrix responsibly. For these reasons, we're giving him the gold medal for his selflessness and bravery, for always attempting to do the right thing and always being there for his grandchildren. Our silver medal of good is going to Max's granddaughter and Ben's cousin, Gwen Tennyson. Gwen is Ben's cousin who went on a road trip with Ben and Max, much to her chagrin. She's smart, sassy, and mature, but can be stubborn and smart-mouthed when talking to Ben. She and Ben constantly argue over objects, viewpoints, and many other things. While Ben has the Omnitrix, Gwen has her magic along with her quick thinking and good instincts to help fight in dangerous situations. We also can't forget her performance as Lucky Girl with the help of some of Hex's magic. While they both argue in many episodes, Gwen does deeply care for her cousin, and she has deep affection for her grandfather. While we can't give her the gold medal because of her hot-headedness, we can give her the silver medal for her drive to always help her family, even if her cousin can drive her crazy at times. Speaking of which, this may be an odd choice, but we're giving the envy medal to Gwen, because for the first half of the series, she was incredibly jealous of Ben's power over the Omnitrix until she then got her own magical abilities. Our bronze medal of good is going to the main hero himself, Ben Tennyson. Yes, we know what you're all thinking, but hear us out. Ben is pretty cocky, childish, and selfish at times. In the classic series, he used the Omnitrix more for personal benefit. He often helped people for reward and the thrill of being a hero rather than for doing the right thing. So why is he getting the bronze medal? Well, we argue that while he was childish most of the time, he's a good kid and uses humor to mask his fears. As the series went on, he started to use the Omnitrix more for good than for selfish reasons, as he began to show a willingness to save others at the risk of his own life. Ben is heroic, cares deeply for his family, and is generally good-natured. So while he had a lot of room for improvement in the classic show, he does do enough to earn the bronze medal here. The Darwin medal goes to Ben since at the beginning, he only used the Omnitrix for brute strength rather than thinking strategically. Next up is the Petrosapien Tetrax Shard. Tetrax Shard was a species of the alien race of Diamond Head. Tetrax used to care only about himself, and this led to his work as a mercenary. But after Vilgax destroyed his planet and his people, he became mindful of his shortcomings and the consequences of his behavior. He decided to change his ways and become a hero who would not allow any villain to get their hands on another powerful weapon. When he was introduced in the episode Hunted, he discovered the Omnitrix was bonded to a child. He attempted to get it back from Ben when he was only using it for brute strength. After Ben learned to use the Omnitrix strategically, Tetrax decided that the Omnitrix was in good hands. Overall, Tetrax has made a lot of mistakes that led to the destruction of both his kind and planet, but his heroism and penitence gives him this spot on the list. Next up will be Cooper. Cooper is a friendly and well-meaning guy, but he can be naive as well. He made his debut in the special Ben 10 versus the Negative 10, with the power to control technology and upgrade many electronics. Cooper can be nervous when he fights, but he's still brave enough to stand with Ben and his family. He ranks lower from lack of screen time and having his mind controlled by Sublimino, who turns him against his friends. While they were able to snap him out of it, he didn't wake up until after they defeated Forever King Driscoll, who we'll get to later. So while we can't rank him any higher, he is a good kid through and through. Our last spot in the good tier may be an odd choice, but we're going to mention all the aliens in the Omnitrix. It may seem odd, but we feel each alien in the Omnitrix has enough personality to be included on the list, though we're ranking them here together. If we rank them individually, we'd be here all day. Each alien that Ben chooses to become has its own unique powers, such as Heatblast for fire, Forearms for super strength, XLR8 for super speed, Ripjaws for swimming, and many more. Ben will choose an alien to transform into depending on the situation. We can't rank them any higher since most of them are Ben's transformations, but we sure can't place them at the bottom of the good tier. We have now reached the gray area. These are characters that may do their part protecting the galaxy, but they aren't exactly good people. Our first character in the gray area is the creator of the the Omnitrix himself, Azimuth. Azimuth created the Omnitrix and invented many other things as well. In the special Secret of the Omnitrix, he debuted as a paranoid person and buried himself in his work. He was impolite and very pessimistic, refusing to repair the Omnitrix when it was about to self-destruct and destroy the universe. He believed the universe wasn't worth saving since he created the Omnitrix as a means to maintain peace and understanding. People like Vilgax only want to use it as a weapon of war. After he was convinced to fix the Omnitrix, he unlocked another alien for Ben to use to fight Vilgax, which was Weybig. We can't rank him in the good tier because of his rudeness and his attitudes, but we can place him at the top of the gray area. Next up, we have Xylene. Xylene was Max's love interest in his youth. She was tasked with protecting the Omnitrix, keeping it out of the wrong hands. After Vilgax attacked her, she set the Omnitrix to activate to Max's DNA signature and sent it to him since he was the only one she could trust. The pod containing it went slightly off course and it ended up with Ben after he found it at their campsite. She was able to escape, destroying a hefty part of Vilgax's ship and causing extensive damage to his body. When she was introduced in the episode The Visitor, she was blunt and outspoken, saying exactly what was on her mind. This caused hurt feelings and puzzled Xylene since she doesn't fully understand human emotions. Xylene's race is without parenting. She stated, "Once you hatch, you're on your own." While Xylene and Ben ended on better terms, it doesn't excuse the fact that she hurt Ben's feelings and wanted Max to go back with her to the stars, so we can place her in the middle of the gray area. We decided to give the Lust Medal to Xylene since she attempted to take Max into space twice. Our last placement in the gray area is going to be Ben's bullies, Kashmiri and JT. We're ranking these two together since they both played the same role. Both Kashmiri and JT are ruthless and mean-spirited bullies that pick on anyone smaller than them, especially Ben. In a later episode, The Unnaturals, Cash and JT reappeared and began to pick on him again. Later, Cash took the credit for saving the president, though it was Ben that saved them from the Forever Knights. While these two are total jerks, we can't place them in the bad tier since they are just bullies, very weak compared to other characters, and all the villains below them are much, much worse. Finally, we've reached the bad to evil tier. These are the characters that deserve to be in intergalactic prison or to be exterminated by the Plumbers. Our first character in this category is going to be the mad scientist, Dr. Aloysius Animo. Dr. Animo was once a respected man in veterinary science. His career was cut short after he was discovered performing twisted experiments on animals. In his debut episode, Washington, BC, he created mutated animals and brought ancient animals back to life to get revenge on Dr. Kelly for taking the Verities Award. After he was foiled by Ben and his family, Animo would go after them whenever he escaped from prison. He was able to create mutated fusions with animals and the aliens of the Omnitrix in the episode Dr. Animo and the Mutant Ray. And in the episode Divided We Stand, he was able to copy and create clones of Ben's aliens with the help of Ben's alien Ditto. Overall, Animo was a total mad scientist that stopped at nothing to get what he wanted. He doesn't rank any lower because, after his first plan was ruined, Animo didn't have any purpose other than to get revenge against Ben and his family. Next up is the Master Magician Hex. Hex is a power-hungry magician and uncle to Charmcaster. He will go to whatever lengths to acquire more power in magic. He's ruthless and arrogant and not a good parental figure for Charmcaster. He's very harsh and abusive to her, always demanding respect and answering his demands. He's more of an enemy to Gwen than Ben is. In his debut episode Lucky Girl, he attempted to steal an ancient spellbook with powerful magic. Combined with his charms of Bezel, it would have made him unstoppable if Gwen and her family hadn't broken them. Later in the episode Tough Luck, Hex returns from prison with his niece Charmmaster to get the keystone of Bezel to multiply his power tenfold. So while Hex is very power hungry, he doesn't rank any lower since he is only motivated by greed, and his niece betrayed him for her own power. Speaking of which, the Greed Medal goes to Hex for his never-ending thirst for power and the mastery of magic. Next up in the top 5 is Hex's niece, Charmcaster. Charmcaster is shown to be just as power hungry as her uncle. However, she ranks lower than Hex because she's more resentful and bitter than her uncle. To compensate for these insecurities, she is arrogant and ego-driven, striving to prove her superiority over others. In her debut episode Tough Luck, she breaks Hex out of prison, only to betray him later when she attempts to take the keystone of Bezel for herself. Later, she makes a return on her own in the episode A Change of Face. She attempted to switch bodies with Ben to get the Omnitrix, but ended up switching with Gwen when she got in the way. She doesn't rank any lower since her evil is outmatched by our other top 4. Just outside of the podium is the Forever King, Sir Driscoll. Driscoll was originally a veteran plumber who was kicked out for stealing advanced technology from alien perps and using them for his own benefit. He comes off as arrogant and sadistic, one who would have no problem stabbing someone in the back to get what he wants. Like the other Forever Knights, Driscoll despises aliens and has little honor. In the special Ben 10 versus the Negative 10, he assembled a team from the Negative 10 to go against Ben and his family so he could steal the sub-energy for himself. He was defeated at the end and wasn't seen again until Ultimate Alien, but since we're only ranking him based on his actions in the original series, we can't put him in the top 3. The Sloth medal goes to Sir Driscoll, since he would rather have others do his dirty work and then stab them in the back. Our Bronze Medal of Evil is going to Ben's arch-rival, Kevin Levin. Kevin Levin, otherwise known as Kevin 11, becomes Ben's sworn enemy after he was proven to be a bad seed. In his debut episode, Kevin 11, he was a delinquent who lives in a subway tunnel. After Ben shows him the Omnitrix, they decide to partner up. However, it was quickly revealed that Kevin doesn't care about people getting hurt when he attempts to make a train full of money collide with a train full of people. In the end, he managed to absorb all the powers of the Omnitrix. Later in the episode Framed, Kevin transforms into several of Ben's aliens, framing Ben and his aliens for crimes they didn't commit. Later in the episode, when Ben defeats him, he tells Kevin that he wasn't worth killing, whereupon Kevin's rage and anger transforms him into a giant mutated alien. While Kevin has more episodes we could discuss, these episodes prove that Kevin deserves the Bronze Medal. The Wrath Medal goes to Kevin 11 for his intense hatred and his attacks on Ben for turning him into a freak. Our Silver Medal of Evil is going to Ben's former alien friend from the Omnitrix, Shyr, otherwise known as Ghost Freak. Using the Omnitrix, Ben often transforms into Ghost Freak. In the episode Ghost Freaked Out, however, we learn that Ghost Freak was not merely a transformation, but actually another alien trapped inside the Omnitrix. His real name was Shyr, and he revealed himself as an arrogant, sadistic, twisted, power-hungry master planner. Since Ben was the first being to wear the Omnitrix after Shyr entered the device, he needed the power of the Omnitrix to become whole again, so he attempted to possess Ben permanently. He has the power to possess and take over anyone's body for his own benefit, though he has a major weakness to sunlight, which was exploited by Ben to disintegrate him. He returned in the episode The Return, and was the main antagonist in the next episode, Be Afraid of the Dark. He plotted to veil the Earth in darkness, to rule it and have control of the Omnitrix. After Ben and his family foiled Zskyr's plans, he attempted to possess Ben again, only to be disintegrated by the sun. So while Shyr has more than earned the Silver Medal of Evil, he is only outranked by our Gold Medalist. If you're a longtime Ben 10 fan, I think you know who it is. Finally, our Gold Medal of Evil is going to the Galactic Warlord himself, Vilgax. Regarded as the most dangerous being in the universe, Vilgax is ruthless, cruel, and the most ambitious of all villains. He conquered 10 planets, destroyed 5, and once created a black hole. His main goal was to obtain the Omnitrix so that he could use it to build an army capable of transforming into various aliens at his command and rule the universe. Later, after a couple of defeats by Ben and his family, Vilgax's goal to obtain the Omnitrix became secondary, and his primary goal then became defeating or killing Ben for the humiliation of his defeats. Vilgax definitely deserves the Gold Medal of Evil for being the only character in the show that has conquered and destroyed planets. Who knows what he could have done if Max, Ben, and Gwen hadn't stopped him from successfully obtaining the Omnitrix. The Pride Medal goes to Vilgax for taking pride in the title of most dangerous and powerful being in the galaxy. No sane person would work for him.